Thank y'all. Let's see if we can get some likes. Y'all like the stream, share, subscribe, ring-a-ling-a-ling-ling the bell, so you get all yeah, so you get all notifications. Ah, yeah, man. So get into this decay, this decaying spirit, this rotting spirit. All right. So I want you to picture steel. It's strong, solid, dependable. But if you leave it unprotected, little by little, rust starts to eat at it. Can't see the damage right away, but one day the structure collapses, right? Everything goes to shit. Whole building falls. Your whole spirit slumps over. Well, that's what happens to the soul, to the spirit when we stop maintaining it. Spiritual decay. Spiritual decay isn't some voodoo curse or demonic possession, some boogeyman. Ooh. No, it happens when your inner compass, your conscious, your truth starts corroding, right? When you start making small compromises that eat away at who you really are. So in the chat, drop something in your life that's starting to feel a little rusty. Something you used to care about, lately you've been letting slide. You know, those small compromises. It's not that serious. So right now, we're gonna break this all the way down. What spiritual decay looks like, how it creeps in, real world examples, and how to reverse it before your foundation gives out. Thanks, Renegade. Renegade, we on YouTube. If you want to come over there and join the chat, hit the profile, hit the YouTube icon, subscribe to the channel, and let's grow. Well, thanks for coming through. Thanks for the roses. Hope you have an awesome day. Now, before we break this down, well, we're going to break this down, but we have to start by defining what spiritual decay is. Let's be clear. It's not about religion. It's not about sin or salvation. It's about erosion. You know what erosion is? Picture sand dunes at a beach. The water line comes in, and then the dune starts to, gets eaten away at. Same thing, same exact thing, right? But instead of the sand at the beach, it's the erosion of our values, morals, purpose. It's when spirit, that internal GPS. No, it's fine. I'll push through it. I'll push through it. It's when that starts glitching, when spirit and you know that internal GPS starts glitching, right? Think about somebody who used to stand on truth, but now they just say whatever to keep the peace or to get a like online. That's decay. Choosing validation over integrity. Or think of that artist who used to create from the heart. Love. I see a lot of y'all, well, not a lot of y'all, some of y'all said love, right? Creating from the heart that is no longer there, right? But now that artist only paint what's trending, right? The work still might look good, but there's no depth in it, right? There's no soul in it. There's no love in it. And that's what's missing. That there is decay. So let me ask y'all, when was the last time you did something that didn't feel right, didn't feel true to you, but you just did it to fit in and to fit in and or to keep up with the Joneses. And I say Joneses because I'm different, but y'all may know them as the Joneses. Yeah, how many of y'all used to keep up with the Joneses, right? So I I don't say I didn't used to keep up with the Joneses, but my thing was as a youngster, I used to dumb myself down to fit in with the homeboys because I felt, now this was wrong of me, I felt like they weren't as intelligent as I was. And that was guilty. That was so wrong for me. But I did it to fit in the group, right? Because they was on on some things that I really wasn't on because that was the homies in them. I did it, right? So think of a time that you felt your soul say, don't do that, but you did it anyway. You ignored it. How did you feel afterwards? Well, me, I was fine afterwards, but before going into it, my thing was, what the fuck if, what I'm gonna do if my dad find out? Ass whooping of the century. That's what happened. And so the fear stopped me from doing some things, but the sneakiness, methodically planning, kept me kept me not to get caught. Now I ain't say it didn't keep them from getting caught. It kept me from getting caught. And the times where I did get caught up in the situation, I was cleared. Did he snitch? Did he snitch? Nah, I didn't snitch. I didn't snitch. So now that we done defined what spiritual decay is, let's get into some signs. You might be going through, you might be experiencing some of these things. And if you are, that's spiritual decay. Losing connection to truth or conscience, right? Not standing on business, as the young folks say. Not standing on your square, as the old schools say, right? When you start losing connection to truth, right? When we stop checking in with our inner truth, we drift. The voice, our inner voice becomes background noise. And then we start mistaking, we start mistaking, we get our emotions and ego mistaken at that point, right? So if you've ever, if you've ever caught yourself justifying something just to fit in or to be accepted, looking for validation, and you knew it wasn't right, you knew it wasn't right, but you did it anyway, drop a fire emoji in the chat. Gonna get y'all working, moving some of that energy instead of just sitting there looking. It's an energy exchange. You getting this information from me, I want participation from you, right? Losing consciousness, losing the connection of consciousness and or truth. Another sign, and we all are guilty of this. If you own a microwave, you are guilty of this. Choosing instant gratification over long-term meaning. Well, wait, what do you mean if you own a microwave? Outside of reheating something, right? Like a hungry man meal, right? Let's use a hungry man meal, right? Well, let's just use the microwave itself. What is it for? It's for convenience, right? We'll take 10 minutes away from warming something up on the stove to a minute, depending on how hot you like your food, right? Now, picture a microwave versus a crock pot, right? That quick, that quick meal versus the preparation, the love put into each blend of vegetables, each season blend, what meat you're pairing with what side, and if you are going further with it, what pairs best with the beverage you're going to wash it all down with. The art of cooking, right? That microwave, that quick hit, that quick heat, right? Or a lie, or a hookup, right? Yeah, it feels good at the moment, but there's no substance there, right? And so therefore you don't gain anything from it. A quick hit is nothing because that quick hit and that first high, you're gonna forever be chasing that high, right? It's like fast food for the soul. You get full, but you're not nourished. The soul doesn't get anything, right? Also, the endless scrolling through social media, that instant gratification, that dopamine, right? Because all of these emotions, feelings, and all of these things we experience, it's just chemical reactions, and we chase the chemical reaction that makes us feel what they call good or happy. And so when you just endlessly, mindlessly scrolling through social media, you feel drained and shit, right? Because there was nothing, there was no fruitful content that you were coming across. Can't say that you were searching for it because you just mindlessly scroll. So my question to you right now, what's your biggest soul food junk? Your biggest soul junk food? What's your fast food for the soul? Right? So another sign, trading integrity for convenience, for clout, or for comfort. Now I know a wise man once said, being comfortable is good, but it's a terrible place for growth. Now don't quote me correctly. I was paraphrasing. When we trade in integrity to be comfortable, oh man, that's wild. Cat videos, watching other people bake. Oh wow. But you know what? It's a market for everything. Everything has a market. Those cat videos, watching people cook, hell, even watch people eat. Motherfuckers be on that shit, right? This one right here is everywhere, right? Trading in the integrity for convenience, comfort, or clout, right? People say I'll do it for the money, right? Hold on one second. Sorry for that, y'all. So, you know, people say I'll do it for the money, right? Check this out. If y'all know me, y'all know I have a big beef with the public school system. Watch out. Don't get flagged. I have a big beef with the public school system. And I have an even bigger issues with the teachers that teach the bullshit just for the check. I get it. We all got bills. To the babies though, you gonna teach them that a dude named that somebody can discover a place where it's already inhabited by other people, and then we name a whole day after it. Spiritual decay at its finest right there. What's going on, Mystical? So, you know, they do it for the money, or or that person who streams and, you know, just to get people around them, they'll say whatever somebody else wants to hear. That's corrosion in real time, right? Look at look at the people who sell products they don't believe in just for the check, right? Y'all know Left Eye from TLC. When it came to her lyrics, or if somebody wanted her to get on the track, she didn't get on any degrading songs. Now she was offered because she can rap really well. She used to could rap really well, but she did not hop on any disrespectful music, nothing degrading, nothing that will cause your spirit to decay. She kept her integrity. She stood on business, and you could hear it in her lyrics. So, what's an area in your life where comfort has replaced conviction? When you stand for something, you won't fall for anything. Exactly. People who sell Avon, right? And my granny was a faithful customer to Avon. Had a little Avon lady right around like one, two, three, 4 blocks, 4 blocks, 4 blocks. If the lady ain't coming over Granny house, Granny going around there. Put me down for this, that, and that. Now my granny was happy with the products. It was cheap. She felt like she got her bang for her buck, so she enjoyed it. But the thing, did the lady enjoy selling Avon? Did she wear Avon herself? What? Um, you gotta ask your mom because she the one who told you to come in the house, right? Another sign. Um, brown eyes, feeling empty when life looks good. Now, not you per se, but when you mentioned early that you felt empty when you did something that you know wasn't true to you know. So this right here gets to all the rich people who got the job they want, who got the female or got the female or dude they want, the exact size family they dreamt of, the dream house, the dream car, the dog picket fence, and all that shit. Bank account on swole, right? But if you ask them how they feel internally, they'll say empty, miserable, a bunch of words that means negative things, right? Or has a negative connotation. So we could pretty much say if a celebrity isn't on a spiritual path, they are suffering from spiritual decay. Now, that's just me speculating. Who am I to say what they doing? I can just imagine. Because one person said in one of them songs, the more money you have, the more problems you attract. Right? Everything looks good on paper, but your spirit is hollow, right? Like that fake ass jury from the middle of the mall, right? Oh shit. So here's some reflection for this one right here. If your external life is thriving, but your internal life feels dead, that's a red flag. Last sign of spiritual decay. When we let external influences replace inner guidance, social media, school, the news, that type of media, toxic people, right? We 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 used to seek elders for knowledge and wisdom and advice. But now if you look at the young generation, they disrespecting the elders now. And no, I'm not. Some of these old people are not elders, they are just old people. Keep that in mind. Just because you got some age on you don't make you an elder. And I would be foolish to follow behind a foolish old person, right? We used to seek the elders for the higher wisdom, the higher knowledge, the information, or our higher self. We used to be in the business of meditating. That ain't some new shit. But guess not who we ask. We come to fucking YouTube. We go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Meet Me, right? We go to all of these different places to scroll for identity, right? Your intuition can't hear through all of that outside static. You got 10 people's opinion, right? Playing in your head on top of your gut feeling telling you what you already know you should do, right? You ain't gonna be able to hear your intuition. You ain't gonna be able to feel that gut tingle, right? That's like trying to hear a flute That's like trying to hear a flute solo at a Beyonce concert. You just ain't gonna you ain't gonna hear you ain't gonna hear Andre 3000 over there. You just ain't gonna hear him, right? Not the performance itself, not the Beyonce performance itself, but the noise, the concert noise. You're not going to hear the flute. So guess what? We're going to miss the message. We're going to brush it off. We're going to not get it. Are y'all ready to unplug and actually listen to that inner self? If so, put I choose silence in the chat. I choose silence if you know it's time to unplug and listen to that withinness. And you ready. Because all of us know this shit. Deep inside we know it. But if we ready, we gotta, we gotta, we gotta do it that way. Hey, Lucky, click my click my bio, click my bio, hit my YouTube icon and come over there. That's where we at. Everybody over there. Yeah, come on over there. That's where we at right now. Well, come on over there. Now, bet. Now that we have recognized the signs of spiritual decay, now it's time to get into what causes spiritual decay. Neglect, not maintaining that inner appetite needed for growth through reflection, through meditation, through journaling, through stillness, that moment of silence when you hear all of your thoughts clearly and it's not jumbled up noise. This is where a lot of us fall victim to, right? Just like that steel I mentioned earlier with the rust needs oil, our inner being needs maintenance as well. It needs to stay lubricated, right? Because lubrication is what keeps things at a constant flow. Think about your body. They say our body is 80% water, right? Think about that joint that has calcified, right? No lubrication there, no moisture. So arthritis creeps in. Same way with inner self, soul. Another cause, the environment you're in, staying in toxic relationships, draining jobs. I mentioned it earlier, social media loops, continuing to fall in that day in and day out. It's not even a routine. It's not a routine. It's autopilot, right? Like the Truman Show. Not the premise of the show, but the repetition, doing the same thing day in and day out, like clockwork. All the damn neighbors come out the house at the same time, pick up their newspaper, take it in the house, come back outside, get in their car, and go to work. That's operating under somebody else's idea of what life is and how it should be operated through, right? I mentioned the steel. We can't shine like the star we are in a rusty room, no matter how bright we may think we shine. Disconnection from purpose is another cause. Losing sight of why we are really here, right? When we forget our why, everything becomes mechanical, like I just mentioned, right? You're just going with the flow, and it's not a good flow to go with. If I must be transparent, this next cause is what I have been guilty of up until recently. Fear of judgment, failure, rejection, or blame. Fear makes us trade in our authenticity for safety. And the moment we do that, doing that chips away, just like the rest of them chips away. So, regardless of the result, the outcome, do it regardless. Now, the causes leads us to the consequences of spiritual decay. When decay runs unchecked, the soul collapse. A piece, this individual personality starts to collapse. We feel confused, disconnected, anxious, ultimately unfulfilled, right? That's why people with everything, fame, money, followers, still end up lost or addicted to something because their soul's infrastructure could not hold the weight of it could not and it cannot and as a result it will not hold the weight of their life. Even if a small decay shows up, right? Even small decays, right? We start, you ever notice you start to lose discipline, clarity, or motivation? You know, therapists, people who care about you, on the surface, they'll call it, oh, you're just lazy. Or you got to get back in it. No, it's not laziness. That's corrosion. You have compromised the integrity of the soul of your inner self, right? That's what the fuck you done. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You're not undisciplined. I mean, though those may be the titles people place on you, that may be the case, but ultimately that's corrosion. That's erosion. Remember I was telling y'all about erosion? That's that. Corrosion. When you say corrosion, think of that green shit on your battery post. Think of that fake ass piece of jewelry you got that done turned green. Right? Now, we got to reflect. We have to reflect at all times. And if you don't know me, you will by the end of this live. I'm fucking big on reflection. So, here's a reflection question. What areas of your life is showing cracks? It may be difficult to look there because it may be painful. You might have to rip the band-aid off. That is okay. Because that is where soul is asking for the attention. Hey, over here, right here. Like the motherfuckers at the airport wheeling the plane in with the little glow sticks. Anyway, yeah, same shit. Same shit. Now, we didn't sat up here and we didn't talk about the problems. We didn't talk about what caused. We didn't talk about the signs. We didn't talk about what it is. We didn't talk about all this shit. But what's talking about the problems, the issue, if you ain't got no remedy, if you ain't got no solution, we got solutions. Let's do it. Let's call it an integrity check, a daily integrity check. Yeah, daily integrity check. This could show up as journaling, right? Asking yourself reflective questions, right? A question that we can ask ourselves right before bed. Did I honor my values today? Because going against your values is textbook spiritual decay. It's textbook spiritual decay. Because that question right there, if you don't ask any other question, that question right there starts to reverse the rust. Y'all remember that cleaner a while back called CLR? Calcium, lime, and rust, I think it was. So it cleared that stuff. It cleared clad calcium. It cleared the damn lime. It cleared the rust. Just that question alone is your CLR. Is the R part in the CLR. Since we're dealing with steel and decaying steel is rust. Filter and external influence. Lay back from social media. Lay back from those people. Unfollow, unplug, and detox because detox is, I ain't gonna say number one, but it's a top component to healing. You have to detox if you want to fully heal. And I'm not just talking about detox the body. You got to detox the mind as well. What's mind detoxification? Reflecting, doing some shadow and mirror work, right? Your intuition cannot compete with that external noise, because that external noise influence our five senses, and it will take a great amount of being present to notice a gut feeling or a shift in body language in the midst of external influences, right? Another thing, another thing that we can do is prioritize meaning over dopamine. I'm not asking you to quit your whole social media fix thing. There's a time and place for everything, like our parents told us, because we play too much, right? Like Charleston White say, he done made a slogan out of it. Everybody playing. Everybody play too much. Ain't nobody taking anything seriously anymore. And I said that because my son said earlier he picked on me for not saying seriously. So I had to get him back. Right? Prioritizing meaning over dopamine. We can still scroll on the social media, but are we scrolling through growth content? Are we scrolling through actual soul food? We got to trade that momentary pleasure for permanent peace. Permanent peace. We have to choose creation over consumption. If you just feel like you have to be on social media, well, instead of being the viewer, become the streamer. Become the streamer. Another thing we can do, we have to reconnect with purpose. How do you reconnect with purpose? Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. How do y'all think we reconnect with purpose? See if we can get some comments from the peanut gallery. Nah, but I fuck with y'all though. How do y'all think we reconnect with purpose?
What time is it?
5:12. I'm almost done. Well, since everybody's scared to put in what they think, what I think one of the biggest things that we can do is to sit and figure out what you're passionate about. That's a good one. Now I got to be the child. How do we do that? How do we figure out what we're passionate about? And there is a way to find out what we're passionate about. Same way that we can find this purpose as well. Right? Well, you get around people who are passionate about something. Right? That's how you can find out what your passion is. You get around people who knows their purpose. That's how you can find out your purpose. But the question was, how do we reconnect with purpose? There's many ways. You don't have to be emotional connected and pay attention to your feelings when you're doing said act. Or you have to be emotionally connected and paying attention to your, yeah, right. Because when said emotion come up, when said feeling come up, we have to be present, right? Emotionally connected and paying attention. So, because it would be at that moment we would have to pay attention to what we are thinking about at that moment when the sign comes up. But I think one of the biggest things to do to reconnect with purpose is sit in silence. Because as I said, you can't hear the inner when the outer is making a bunch of noise, is being a distraction. So sit in silence and ask, what's trying to be born through me? Meditation. All of these are good answers. There's no right or wrong answer. You know, that's how that's how we remember our mission. And if you remember, I have a go watch Deja Vu. Go watch Deja Vu, right? It's about it's about 8 minutes, right? Maybe a little longer, a little less. I don't remember. But when we gather information, right, on the surface, it may seem like I have reason to be nervous. Now let me stop. On the surface, it may seem like we are learning something for the first time, but every answer to every question that has been asked, that is being asked, that will be asked, is already inside. You just got to align yourself up with that vibration, with that frequency to pull it. It's called phasing, right? And so learning something is just remembering. Remembering something from a past life, a past incarnation. Because you got, like I just said, you have the answers to everything. You know how to be a doctor. You know how to be a scientist. You know how to be a fucking very good criticizer, right? A very good critic, right? All of this shit is, we just have to align with said energy to bring it out of. We can align with some bullshit real quick. But on the conversation of growing, oh, it's hard for us to do that. It's hard for us to align with truth, facing our mirror, looking in those shadows. It's hard to do that. That's how we remember the mission. And last but not least, we have to face the truth. We have to be brutally honest with ourselves, because decay thrives in denial. It thrives in delusion. It thrives in deception. It might hurt. The truth might hurt, but it also heals. And it will heal better than the way that unchecked trauma scabbed over, right? So I want y'all to do this little quick exercise. It's gonna take some focus. Picture your soul as steel, right? You got your soul as steel. You see like a whatever form of steel you're seeing. Now visualize the rust spots. You see the holes here. You see the missing integrity. You see the fear. You see the validation. You see all of those holes, all of those areas of compromise, disconnection. You see it? Now picture yourself just wiping it clean. As you're wiping it clean, you're oiling the steel with truth, with your truth, not outside influence truth, inner truth, purpose, and discipline, because all of those things being broken is what helped the decay to set in. When you picture yourself wiping it clean, you see yourself oiling it up, you see your reflection in it. Now, feel yourself becoming whole again, becoming solid. So, if you're ready to stop corroding and start rebuilding, y'all know here come the participation part. In the chat, type in "my soul is still." Go ahead. Spiritual decay doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow leak, but so is healing. Every time you choose truth over convenience, depth over distraction, and purpose over pressure, you're rebuilding that steel that when you visualized your being or whatever your source of metal was, when you saw those holes by doing those things right there, you're rebuilding your steel. Rust doesn't mean you're ruined. It means you are alive and you have lived. You can always at any time start to restore your shine. Bars. At any time you can restore your shine. So, y'all, keep your soul polished, right? Keep reflecting. Keep doing your shadow work, your mirror work. Don't be afraid to steal. Steal as in STEL, like the metal steel. So, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this live. I got to get off of this thing. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Hope y'all had fun. Hope y'all learned something because I damn sure did. I was pretty much just talking to myself just then. Though I was talking to y'all was just around for it. I was actually talking to myself. So I'm gonna get up out of here. I want y'all to remember that you're stars, so shine like one.